I'm just going to do the tagline for old time's sake here. But
Yeah.
hello and welcome to No One Can Hear You Pod, the world's first and only movie podcast. I'm Nick Lyde, and I'm here as always, joined by my co-host.
John McKittrick.
There we go. In today's episode, we will be discussing the 2006 dystopian drama Children of Men. So, if you've seen this movie before, or you're looking for a fire movie rec, stop or look no further. God, oh man. Oh, I'm already stuttering.
What
Okay.
the font got smaller or something?
Yeah, yeah, my old eyes are already failing me. But before we get into the movie, we're going to talk about a little catch-up call of a couple of things we've seen in theaters or that we've seen each other see. So if you want to skip that, there are the timestamps below. But in the meantime, John, let's talk about some recent film. It's been an exciting month for us both.
Yeah. Do you want to ask me what I've seen recently, or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about two things that you've seen recently.
Okay.
So one, we never got to talk about this, but you said you saw Fantastic Four in Tokyo, and it was just an amazing experience. I never even got to talk to you about being in Tokyo, so I want to take it back and talk about this time.
Got it. Yeah. Well, big part of why we took some time off was Japan. I'm about to complain about something that's ultimately an incredible privilege. I mean, just looking back in the span of human history, what percentage of humans, even today, get the chance to go to somewhere like Japan if they're not from there, right?
Oh yeah.
But that said, they did record the hottest temperature in the history of the country while we were there, and
Yeah.
it was unbelievably. There's a bunch of guys that were in our group from Tampa, and they were like, "This is so much hotter than it is in Florida. This is fucking
Wow.
crazy."
Wow.
I've never experienced heat like it. Like even as a relatively decent shaped guy, late 20s, healthy. Just walking through I was in like Kyoto in the like Imperial Palace's plaza, walking around, and it's just like some of these areas, like they have these rock kind of perimeters around their forts rather than like plants and stuff, and so like just the rocks get hot underneath you and you're walking. And I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know if you've ever spent much time in a sauna where there's a point where your heart's kind of pounding, like as if you're doing cardio, and you're like,
Oh
I should
yeah.
get out so I don't black out.
Yeah.
I had that feeling just walking,
Wow.
just existing outside. And I was like, okay, like I'm just going to sit down and get some shade for a second. But I was like, sincerely, I could see old people like dying in this weather. This is the craziest thing that I've ever experienced. So that was
Yeah.
pretty gnarly. But like, I mean, on the whole, the fact that I got to go there for a couple of weeks was super cool. The bullet train was super cool. Like the culture is incredible. People are so nice, really organized. So I loved a lot of it. I just would probably advise to not go in the peak of summer.
Yeah. The only thing I know about it is that Young Lean song Kyoto.
Okay,
You know
well then
though.
you get most of the idea. That's like 90% of Japan right there in that song.
Yeah. That song covers it.
Yeah, I think pretty sufficiently. Oh, but to your
But what
question
about the
though,
movie? Yeah, that's about the
yeah, to
movie.
the movie. So it was hot enough that my girlfriend and I, Lou, go to see the Fantastic Four at one point just because we needed to get out of the heat. So we go to a mall. It's on the 7th floor of this mall.
Yeah.
Everything's vertical there, so it's like people are not afraid. I feel like my like U.S. pilled brain is like, if it's not on the first floor, it's probably not worth my time a little
Oh
bit. But
yeah.
like people are just used to going up and down all the time there. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, we saw the first half of it. Then we had to leave to go to a baseball game. And then later on
Oh,
in the trip, we were like, we're still hot and I want to finish the rest of this movie. So we popped in for the second half of the movie.
did you start
Um,
from the beginning, or did you just pop in for the
no,
second? Oh, okay.
we
Wow.
popped in for the second half. It was a whole
Respect.
thing because they did not take kindly to us trying to sneak in. Like, I
Oh.
mean, we paid for a second ticket, but uh, anyway, yeah, I would say it was fun. Like, I had a great time in the theater seeing it. I think it does some really cool stuff with like the retro futuristic stylization of it. Like, I think that's a cool thing that we gloss over with a lot of Marvel, and a lot of the recent stuff hasn't looked great with CG. That's totally fair,
Yeah.
but I mean, sometimes they have some really cool like artistic visions that they go for, and sometimes it's a little overly glossy or whatever you want to call it. But there's some cool
Yeah.
swings with it that I enjoy the genre for. And so anyway, I thought Fantastic Four was a good version of that.
Okay.
Maybe not a 5-star masterpiece, but like as a popcorn film, completely satisfactory for me.
Fair enough. And then what about weapons? I want to ask you about weapons.
Yeah, Weapons is the one that I've actually been like proselytizing to everyone I can
Okay.
speak
Let's hear
to.
it.
I loved it. So Zach Kreger, made famous originally for Whitest Kids You Know, and then in more recent times he wrote and directed Barbarian, which was a huge
Right.
hit. And then at this point, it's pretty documented, but Trevor from Why Kids You Know passed away tragically and very abruptly. I don't know if you're aware of any of
No,
this.
I don't know this.
They're a big YouTube channel, and actually, I think
I
at one
know the
point they had
YouTube
their
channel.
own
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
But so they were best friends. They founded it together, and I think Kreger was just going through such a hard time that he chose to, try and write as an outlet for it. And this is before Barbarian had come out. Have you seen Barbarian?
Yeah, yeah, and I liked it.
Okay, so it was before Barbarian was still in the edit, so he wasn't like a huge
Oh,
success
wow.
yet, whatever you want to define that as. But so he wrote this. It's a pretty awesome backstory of, well, not, it's an interesting backstory. So
Yeah.
once Barbarian's a success, he starts shopping out this script to be the director and writer on it. And a couple different studios immediately started bidding for it. And he has the same, have you heard any of this?
No.
He has the
No. This
same
is all new to me.
manager as Jordan Peele,
Okay.
famous for Get Out and for Monkey Paw, the production studio. And basically Jordan Peele really wanted this script, so he was bidding super heavy, along with, I think he was aligned with like maybe Lionsgate or MGM or something.
Yeah.
But they ended up not getting it, and I believe it's Warner Brothers produced it. But like Jordan Peele fired his manager over it because he was like, "Hey, like if you can't do this for me, why am I going to keep you around a little bit?" Slash, maybe there's a little bit like, "Hey, you could only get so much of a contract with us, but because you're Kreger's producer or you're his agent, you get a cut of it. So if you can get a bigger funding, he's going to get." Anyway, all that to say, interesting production history for it. But the movie itself, really fantastic. I found it like, I don't know, just like a lot of fun. I think it's like I've had a kind of a worry. I don't know if you feel this way at all, but in like recent years, theatrical's been struggling. Film has been successful as a niche within theatrical, and so there's been a push for that. And I was kind of worried about like that getting oversaturated and some of the quality of horror films going down. But I don't know, if there's one or two of these a year, even, I would be ecstatic for the genre. Like I thought it was really, really well done.
And it's scary. Like it's like actually scary.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely scary. There's some like pretty disturbing sequences, but like I thought the cinematography on it, I think, is really excellent. Like it's just doing so many unique things that like it's not relying on just like the horror of a situation to be like, okay, that'll be enthralling. Like it's really using the camera to give you, it's an obvious thing, but like perspective on who's speaking. Yeah, it's really good though. Do you have any interest in watching it? Are you planning to see it?
I don't know. You said it was too scary for me, probably.
It's scary, but I think it's very doable. I've seen scarier films.
What's something that's a little bit scarier or a little bit less scary? Whatever's like easier to describe it.
I would say I feel like maybe The Conjuring is a little scarier to me.
I don't want to do that.
No, but I'm just saying it's scarier than The Conjuring is scarier than this.
Oh, The Conjuring. Okay, yeah. What's a little less scarier than this?
Oh God,
I'm trying to narrow it. I'm really trying to narrow it down.
Oh God, I don't know. Cloverfield.
Okay, yeah, somewhere in between there.
Yeah, it's
That's fair. Yeah.
Pretty big range. Okay,
broad range.
You should see it though, John, just to be in the zeitgeist. But
no, I think
okay. My questions.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I have two for you because I think we spent so much time on mine.
I know.
First one is Kingdom of Heaven because I've never seen it, and it seems like the exact movie I would like. Where it's kind of it's not quite swords and sandals, but it's like it's knights and it's good. Catholic, presumably.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's good. I honestly thought that like it was I was gonna know exactly what I was gonna get from it. Like I just see Ridley Scott, you see all the themes you just said or everything you just said about it. I thought I was like, oh, I know what I'm gonna get here, and it was still like better than that. Like there was still scenes where I was like, whoa, that was like sick. Like and there's even a scene really early on where I was like, oh, this is like so much better than I thought it was gonna be. So I think it's worth watching. That's all I'll say about it. Worth watching.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you keeping it minimal because I've never seen it. So, and I really don't know anything about it. But the other one that I wanted to ask about, which is kind of a can of worms here, but curious what you thought of the assassination of Jesse James, because we were supposed to do a whole podcast about it. It didn't work out. My dog has been a little under the weather. And I think we realized maybe one of us, i.e. me, was not like in love with it. So maybe not worth taking a whole episode to discuss. But I want to hear at least your side of it.
I really liked it. And I was so surprised when you gave it 3, and then I saw that you dropped it even further to 2.5.
Yeah,
I was But then I was like, wow, we should have talked about it, because I bet we would have been able to find some kind of middle. Because I think maybe I was too. Actually, no, I'm gonna stand by it. I was really hyped on it. Like, it was in my top 10 for the year. It was number 10 until today. I'll give you an early preview. Children of Men knocked it out of my top 10.
Okay,
So
there we
so
go.
I'm at least saying
Woo!
Children of Men is better. But Jesse James I really liked, and actually I think we're gonna get to it in this, because Jesse James I thought was a very like internal, like dark movie, and this one is much more like, to me, external and like bright and like hopeful. Like, I thought there was a moment at the end where you wouldn't know if the boat came or not, and then of course the
Hmm.
boat comes. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. It's kind of like what kind of movie I like, and I was like, I really did like it. I liked, I always like Brad Pitt in a movie, and
Hmm.
and what's his name,
Casey
Casey
Affleck.
Affleck. And I think it's like they're both best performances, and like a kind of a deep study of Casey Affleck, and he's so good at playing that dark character. Like, you love Manchester by the Sea. I
Oh
just thought it was
yeah.
really good. I thought it was a really good study of him and like that story.
I think there's really, I mean, I think the acting is really solid. My counterpoint to your feelings is just, and I think it's like excellently shot. Like, I think the whole film, I'm just watching, I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
this, the lighting, the
Roger
shadows, the
Deakins. Yeah,
framing. Yeah, Deakins,
yeah.
yeah, he stays winning with that. Um, I don't know. I think because they're like the whole point of it, like from the beginning, it assumes that you are like also aware of the legend that is Jesse James, with which I don't know. I like history. I would say probably more than the average person, and
Right.
I'm not really like super up to date with my Jesse James lore. So like when that was like a big part of it that I feel like is supposed to be implied, I was like, I don't know. He's just kind of a dick from the get go, and then there's like a nice moment at the end.
But the
But
thing is,
I didn't really understand. Yeah, I'm
wait, let me
sure I'm
rebuttal.
missing something.
No,
Okay,
I don't know. I
please.
don't know if you are. I don't know if you are, but let me talk about how I'm thinking of it. To me, it wasn't about Jesse James. It was about the coward Robert Ford. And I love a
Hmm.
dark character like that. Like, I love Taxi Driver. Like, I love that. So, like, Jesse James, yeah, I didn't really care about his story either. And, like, I never heard of Jesse James. And I only did a little bit of research after it. And we were going to do a podcast on it, because I was so uninterested in Jesse James. I like the coward Robert Ford. What a story. And then to get
Hmm.
assassinated by just some guy who wants to kill Robert Ford. Like, I just thought it was an amazing like downfall, or like how do you have a downfall? He never had anything. It was just like, it's just crazy. That part of it I
Yeah.
liked. Yeah,
I will say just like the one piece of research I did do for that I thought was fascinating, and yeah, I guess spoilers for the assassination of
yeah.
Jesse
Sorry.
James, but Robert Ford gets killed in real life by a guy who's just like wanted, I guess, fame or something. So he
Yeah,
kills him. He goes to jail. He goes to jail for like 6 or 7 years, and then there's like a major petition put in place for him, like thousands of people signed for him to be pardoned. So they end his sentence because people were like, "Fuck that guy! He killed Jesse James." The
right,
like open Confederate
right.
and robber and murderer. They're like, "We love Jesse James. Free the guy that like avenged him." And then the guy's out and immediately gets in like a knife fight with a cop and gets killed. Like just a psychopath, complete
Well,
psychopath. That people are like, but I guess I love Jesse
at least,
James that
yeah.
much. So
Well, at least they got him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, John's very pro cop on this pod, so
I don't
just
know if we can
another
get
win
in.
for our boys in blue.
I don't know if we can get into that on this one. We're already
We'll
16
talk
minutes
about
in.
that. Yeah, we'll talk about
Yeah.
that in the next. All right, should we get into this movie? Let's do
Let's
this.
talk about it.
All right. What movie are we doing? Oh yeah, Children of Men.
Yeah.
Great movie. I really loved
It
it.
was great.
Do you want to talk about some like initial thoughts on, and then we can touch on production and then the scenes themselves?
Sure. Yeah. Give me yours. I want to hear your initial thoughts.
Yeah, so I had seen it once before, and I think the first time I really, I guess similar to you with Kingdom of Heaven, I just had no idea what it was really about. Like I didn't even know the premise about infertility. I didn't know it was going to be essentially this journey style movie, but I really enjoyed it. I kind of thought it was going to be more of a, kind of a true sci-fi drama, which it certainly is as well. But like when that just meant that when there were those sequences, like the bombing at the beginning, when there's the famous car sequence, I was really shocked by them. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it just made them that much more effective for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think on that initial level, I found it really entertaining. If like even first watch, I found it, of course, very emotionally evocative, and it really opens up a lot of fascinating and very timely questions. But I think on this second watch, I just feel so much more strongly about that. Like this movie feels so prescient with the things it's discussing in terms of immigration, in terms of kind of social decay, nihilistic views towards the government. Like I just think there's a lot of really rich territory that's within the film. Pardon me, mixing my metaphors, but anyway, I really enjoyed it. I'd love to hear how you felt, John.
So when did you first see it?
I saw it probably 5, 6 years ago,
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah.
it's
So
been a little while.
yeah, yeah. So this time around, like, you feel like you picked up on more of that kind of stuff because I was just kind of watching it because I had never seen it. I didn't know what to expect. I guess I just was. I knew it was like some kind of dystopian thing, and I just thought it was like paced really well. Like everything was so like they would slow me down and they would pick it back up. Like I was like, wow, like I was blown away. And then I remember when I looked at after and I saw the guy who directed, I was like, oh, of course, like our boy gave us like Prisoner of Azkaban, like I know it's kind of like a joke, but it's also like real. Like that is like I think I got to watch it again recently, but that's I think if I remember correctly the best Harry Potter.
Oh,
So
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah. I was just thinking about that today. I was taking my dog on a walk and just thinking more about this movie. And yeah, Alfonso Cuarón, who directed it, I think he's also credited with writing on it. Um, yeah, I mean, this is a side thing, but yeah, he obviously directed Harry Potter Prisoners of Azkaban. And it's just kind of fascinating because he only did the one, right? But like if you watch the first two movies of Harry Potter, it's like there's a distinct tonal shift with that third movie
oh
that
yeah,
then stays present through the rest of the films. And you could say that that's like exists within the books as well, but I think that would be doing a pretty big injustice to Cuarón and what he brought to the film. So anyway, he's fantastic. Yeah, to your question of like picking up more on the second, it's I don't even know if I'd say. I mean, I'm sure a little bit that, but it was really like the first time I watched this, I didn't know what was going to happen next. Like it really
yeah,
feels, you feel it from Theo's point of view of, he's like, okay, well, I guess I need a little cash. I can get this, this transfer or visa or whatever it was. And then all of a sudden, it's just like every single thing, just the stakes get a little bit bigger and a
dude,
little bit harder to escape. So they're doing another quick fix that just makes things a little bit more drastic.
yeah.
And so, anyways, I was just so locked in on that journey that I just, you kind of are absorbing things through osmosis. But this time, knowing the whole story, I was really able to appreciate the little things going on
That
in the
makes
background
sense.
as well.
Yeah, dude, when that car came down the hill backwards, and like and then they all swarmed from the woods, all those guys. I was like, wow, I was like jaw open. Like that took me by total surprise. And then
So
what's
you
so
hadn't
funny?
seen it before.
No, I'd never seen it.
Okay.
And what I like, it's funny because I was just about to make fun of that scene before because they were like spitting the ping pong balls in their mouth. I was like, this is the lamest thing. And then like they totally set me up. I was like, man, like
Uh-huh.
how did they get me? Like, of course they're gonna get attacked. What are they gonna have a nice drive through the country?
Yeah.
Like
No, but on this rewatch, it was nice. It's been a couple of years. I was like, there's no way I think they stop first and then it's the second day. It's like right off the bat, things go to shit for these people. So
yeah. And then
it's really propulsive.
and then when the guy from 12 Years a Slave, he shoots the cops. I'm like, what? Like, even like
Yeah.
it was still had me going. When it can get you going that long, like it happened to me in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it just like took me on a ride for like that was like almost the whole movie. Like, but just for those whatever many minutes, just to take you on that ride and then like drop you off there with the cops getting shot. I was like, wow, this is a really good movie. Okay, I'm excited for the rest of this.
For sure. And like I think I only noticed this on the second, like on this rewatch. But like
Yeah,
there's even a moment with the cops, like they get, they're freaking out. They're like saying like drive faster, slow down, stop. The cops come over. They're saying like hands on the steering wheel. And so there's like obviously in the US too, we have a lot of feelings about like bad run-ins with the cop when you get pulled over.
right.
But there's a little moment where actually like the cops, when he explains, he's like, hey, here are our papers. We're okay. And they're like, okay, good. We're going to call for help. Like there's a moment where they're like clearly not going to hurt them, it seems like. And that's when he attacks. So
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a lot of little things like that where it's these people are brutal, but you kind of have to be, is at least their belief.
No, you're right. I'm going to give you some of the like stats and figures.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I saw that 4.3, and I knew that this had a high rating on Letterboxd, but still seeing the 4.3 and it's like that. It's number 154 on that narrative 250 list, and that's kind of a good point of reference because like I like that AFI list, right? But like this has everything. This is not just American, So like that narrative
Mhm.
250, and I think is a pretty good list. But yeah, 4.3 watched by 956K. Summary. Well, yeah, I'll give the summary. The year 2027, the last days of the human race, no child has been born for 18 years. He must protect our only hope. In 2027, in a chaotic world in which humans can no longer procreate, a former activist agrees to help transport miraculously pregnant woman to a sanctuary at sea, where her child's birth may help scientists save the future of humankind. That was my first time reading that. It had a $70.5 million box office against a $76 million budget, and it got 3 Oscar nominations, but no wins. Were you surprised to see that, or was it like, yeah, it makes sense?
I'm not surprised to see it because I just think the Oscars fucking
Yeah.
suck at picking things that matter.
Well, okay, you know what won that year though? Because I looked it up because I was like, I saw a lot of people that were reacting that way, but this is when The Departed got it. So like they had to honor Scorsese, you know. So
Okay.
Departed gets Best Picture, and Departed also won in 2 of the categories that Children of Men was nominated for. So I'm like, okay, like I guess that's fair.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
mean, yeah, my gripe is more of a general one with the Oscars. Like anytime I see a good movie not get a win, I'm not surprised. I mean,
yeah,
God, such a tangent. I was just watching Sicario the other day, and
yeah.
Emily Blunt not getting a nom for that role, I think, is like one of the greatest. Not even a nom is just like a unbelievable robbery. Okay, are there any production pieces you want to touch on before we start talking through the scenes?
No, that's pretty much it. No, let's just get right into it.
Okay, I there is one that I want to add really quickly, just that this is based off of the book "The Children of Men" by P.D.
Yep.
James, which came out in 1992. And James or she passed away in 2014, but she was a English novelist, which I think is just interesting because when I first saw this, I didn't know it was based off a book, let alone that it was based off of a book from a woman. And I think having that point of view really does change a lot of the movie and like maybe its intent or its purpose to me in some ways, because it really is a movie that is, for the whole focal point of it being this pregnant woman, it's driven, at least like the decisions of it, by men and like what they want. And
Hmm.
I just think it's a really interesting, I think, little fact that it was written by a woman who probably, I considered what would this world look like, and of course the patriarchal elements that just exist would continue. But anyhow, I just thought it was a important piece for the production and kind of what that means for the story. But
Wait, can I
speaking
throw
of this,
one more thing before
yeah,
talking the movie? The director, like I didn't realize, like this guy is. I got to see his other stuff because I've seen Gravity. Obviously, really like it. All jokes aside, Harry Potter actually is really good, and this was really really good. So like I know Roma people really like, and Y Tu Mama Tambien people
yeah,
really like. Those are both like on those lists, and I think I would definitely want to check these out after this.
yeah, Gravity and Roma both
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah, Azkaban is too. I don't know. It's easy to write some of these like a big blockbuster off, but again, Azkaban's a fucking awesome
Oh
movie. I
yeah.
think it's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so going through the scenes, so we open. I think a really effective kind of radio is like going off telling us about the state of the world or like kind of the lack thereof. We see Theo in a coffee shop finding out about the death of baby Diego. And I think this is a really cool, just subtle piece too of like, what does the world look like without children and filling in some of the gaps that exist. Throughout the movie, similar to baby Diego being an icon, you also see a lot of signage that's like about like having a dog, but like the ads look like it's for like essentially for a child. It's like a crib for your dog, things like that, because they just are people are trying to fill this hole, or other little small things like every single city has crazy smog over it because clearly they just don't care about the future anymore, things like
Yeah.
that. So I think that the baby Diego death is also just a really effective way to be like, oh shit, like people even track who the youngest person in the world is. It's such a crazy idea. And then you get that
Yeah. Wait.
first coffee shop bombing too, which is crazy.
Who do you think killed Baby Diego?
I think it was that fan that was asking him for a signature.
But do you think like the second youngest baby was in on it?
I did think about that. It's like, yeah, I'd be fucking gaming that out.
Oh yeah.
I get to be like the person for the next 40, 50, 60 years maybe.
It's like who's stonewalling this investigation into the death of Baby Diego?
That one's worth looking into.
Yeah.
How did you react to that coffee shop bombing?
I didn't know like it was just still all getting going at this point. I was just like, whoa, this is a crazy world. Like I think when things really flipped for me was what we talked about earlier when he goes into the forest. This whole beginning was really cool, but like yeah, when they
Mm-hmm.
get ambushed and then the guy then he shoots the cop. That's when things really flipped on its head for me. This whole beginning, I was just like, wow, there's a lot going on here.
Was there anything about it that you disliked, or was it more just like, okay, there's a lot going on, I'm just trying to take it all in more than experience it?
No, honestly, the first note I had was when we got to Michael Caine. That's like
Okay.
everything in the beginning. I was just experiencing. I was like, "This is interesting. I have
Hmm.
no idea where this is going." And then the first note I had was Michael Caine.
I will say I agree. It's definitely a lot of expository work going on here. Although I think they do a really effective job of
Oh
doing
yeah,
that work, along with pretty quickly being like there's a lot of movies where we probably aren't on the road until 45 minutes into this movie, and I think they're a lot quicker in this. But I do think there's some notable like set pieces that they have here. Like, I mean, I think the fact that I don't know if the dog track is packed currently, but it's certainly packed in a world where people are like just looking for instant gratification.
right, definitely.
Um, we see that Theo is clearly like a pretty staunch alcoholic. We see, there's just cages with presumably refugees in them,
Oh
no
yeah,
covers on the top, and they're just next to the bus station. Like, this is going on everywhere. There's propaganda all over the place. And then meanwhile, Theo takes a bus into the nice part of town, and there's like, looks like you're in, mid 18 or 1900s USA with like a band playing in the park, and he's seeing his rich cousin who has the Michelangelo or his, the David, statue in his house and everything. So there's some cool just juxtaposition there.
yeah. What was
But
up
yeah,
with that, man? That was crazy. He had like there, and then they were eating, and he had like I think it was a Picasso behind them or
yeah,
something. But like took me a second. I was like, what the like? Yeah, I don't know. That was really crazy. That whole scene was crazy. And I don't know what was going on with that son. I didn't think much about that
yeah,
until just now. I don't know what was going on with him.
yeah. I have no clue there, but I think like a really powerful quote is from that scene. Maybe like one of the best in the entire movie is when he's talking to his cousin and they're looking over at like the his high rise, and he's like, "How do you like keep getting yourself to keep working when someday this is all just being a graveyard?" And he's like, "I just don't think about it." And I think that was like meant to be one of the weightier probably
Oh
quotes
yeah.
in the entire thing. It's just kind of people just don't do anything when they see stuff that goes wrong sometimes. So
Yeah, I mean, he
um,
also said like the only time he ever feels anything is when he has a hangover. I was like, wow, okay.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
We skipped over Theo also gets abducted by the fishes with
right.
Julianne Moore, who's just fantastic in this movie too. Um, I
Yeah,
think
people really like her.
she just has such a, I think it's like a rare but like really talented thing. She's so confident. Like, there's something about her that like is very believably unflinching and willing to look in the face of
Well,
anything.
it flinched when she got
Um,
shot in the neck.
okay, well, you're jumping ahead a little bit,
Oh,
John.
sorry,
Okay, we're
sorry.
supposed to be going in order here.
Oh, sorry.
No, why don't you kick us off for the part where once they start the drive?
Wait, yeah, that was crazy, dude. But she got wait, is that before or after Michael Caine? I thought we met Michael Caine first.
We meet Michael Caine earlier before he first gets
Do you
kidnapped.
do you like Michael Caine in these kind of roles, like where he's like the cheeky, like British guy?
Oh, I love it. I could. I think he's fantastic in this movie. I think he's
Yeah,
like perfect as this like. He's a kind of a different version of a disillusioned Theo, because Theo, right? Like, he used to be an activist. He kind of gave it up after the passing of his son.
yeah.
And like definitely he's the cool hippie in this movie, Michael Caine. But there's also like he is absolutely doing business with a fascist pig. Like he's I don't
Oh
know,
yeah.
like is he wholly innocent in this? Like I think it's a little gray.
No, but he's selling weed to him, I think. So like, yeah, who cares? I think he's a good guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he's a good guy, but I
Yeah,
just think that there is a bit of ultimately Michael Caine lives in this kind of cool bohemian house in the
yeah.
woods where he has power and he has water and he has got cool music and booze, and he's selling drugs to a guard that is just like totally down for these people to get murdered in a camp. I don't know. I think there's some ambiguity there.
That's true. I guess things do get difficult. But like it's not. He's not even that hidden that well. I guess like he's just like you move
Yeah.
up two trees or something. It's so weird.
But yeah,
Wait,
so they what?
sorry, what?
Oh, I
Have
was
you
just gonna
seen?
say the next scene.
Oh no. Okay, sorry. No, it's okay. We're only 30 minutes in. We're
No,
good.
do
We're
it.
we're making good time. You ever seen Jaws 4: The Revenge?
I've never seen a single Jaws movie.
You never seen Jaws 1? Okay, never mind. No, Michael Caine plays the same kind of role in Jaws 4: The Revenge. And I don't know, just something about the jokes. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm too used to him in like Batman, but like I just like I like him like in this movie, but him like just like smoking, telling jokes, like I don't know. I'm kind of like all right, all right.
Oh,
like
I enjoyed it. I will. Well, I'm gonna save my acting nitpicks for the end when we get
Okay,
towards
fair
it.
enough.
But
Fair enough.
yeah, so they start their drive. Doesn't go how we expected.
Right.
Yeah, they get attacked pretty quickly. What did you think of the cinematography and just that scene in general?
Oh, that scene was crazy. Yeah. I mean, the first cinematography thing that was crazy was in the car. Like, just some. I was trying to figure out like how they even shot that. Like, was like a handheld in the car. Like, it started in the back seat and then like moved all the way up onto like the dashboard. I was it was crazy. But then yeah, also when they got ambushed and then yeah, when she gets shot through the neck, like that just like blew my mind. And then still like then I think he hits him with the door or something. I don't know. That
Hmm.
was just a crazy, and then that guy, of course, becomes like the main antagonist. You know, he's like the beast, the crazy guy, like the guy on the
Hmm.
motorcycle with the long hair. Um, man, yeah, that scene was insane, man.
Did you
I
know
was
that
blown
that's
away.
actually like a pretty famous actor,
Yeah,
the white guy with dreads?
yeah, I can't remember what he was in.
Charlie Hunnam, who's in Sons of Anarchy. He's like the
Okay,
lead for that show. I didn't recognize him at all. He's just never really centered in the frame. He's pretty kind of far out. Like I don't think you get a single close up of him. But
yeah. Well, I
yeah,
saw he
really
was
good casting in
listed.
this movie.
Yeah, I saw he was listed like as a main credit. So I was like, oh, who is that guy?
Hmm.
Yeah,
All right, then following that ambush in the woods, they go back to the fish's headquarters. We get to like see like a bit of them trying to figure out what's going to happen next with Key, the pregnant woman.
right,
We find out that Key is pregnant
right.
in the barn, which I read is meant to be evocative a bit of the nativity and Jesus being born,
Yeah.
barn style. But I honestly, what did you think of that scene? Because I thought it was all right. It was certainly like the first time I saw it, like, oh my god, there's a pregnant woman. Like, did you see it coming that she was going to be pregnant?
I don't think so. I don't know why I didn't. Honestly, yeah, I was. You know, honestly, like I felt like I was always in the dark. That's another thing, another sign of a good movie, and maybe why it's harder for me to talk about some of these things. So I think I was processing it for the first time, and I was like, yeah, like it was all taking me for that ride. Like I wasn't
Hmm.
really able to analyze it on that next level yet. I probably should have watched it twice.
No, it's kind of nice that you didn't though, because
Yeah, I guess it
I can't
is.
really remember fully what my headspace was after my first watch.
Okay, true.
But yeah, I mean, so I think it's effective in that regard. So I'm ultimately being a little nitpicky here, but there was part of me that like the some of the shots of her amongst the cows and also just undressing herself, where I was like, okay, I get the metaphor of her nakedness and like,
Yeah,
what
what?
this is trying to show off, but. I don't know that I think a person would actually strip down to say that I'm pregnant
Oh
amongst
no.
cows. Like,
Yeah, definitely not.
maybe you could make the argument on the flip side that Key seems like she probably hasn't had a lot of opportunity to be like educated or like like really even understand how a pregnancy works. So like there's almost a childlikeness to her that I think maybe she would do that. I'm not sure, but anyway, that's a nitpicky
Wait,
thing.
why was she with those cows, and what were they doing to the cows? I did not understand that. There's a lot of things I
I think
didn't
that
understand that I never went back and figured out.
Well, I think it was a dairy farm, so I think she just might have been hanging out in there with. I think Miriam is the wet nurse that's with
Why
her. Maybe they just wanted some privacy for a moment.
why'd they say they cut off like the or what they said?
Yeah, they cut off the udders so it fits
Oh,
four in the machine. I don't
that's
know if that's
just
true or not. I heard
horrible.
that, but um, and then we find out that actually the fishes betrayed Julianne Moore's character.
Right.
They had planned on this. They make their escape. I thought this was a great scene too. Like this is a great.
Oh yeah.
I believe it was done as a oneer too, where
Wait, when they're
Neo's
pushing the
going
car?
through. Yeah, and he's ripping
Oh.
out. I don't know if it's the spark plugs or whatever. I know a lot about cars clearly, uh, but yeah, I mean, just great. Like I love like the running down the hill. To be honest, if I'm Dred's guy, I'm taking that shot. I'm killing
Oh
Theo.
yeah.
I'm not asking for permission on that one.
Man, that is crazy though, because he just got a talking to. You know, that's why
I
I thought
know
it
he
worked. He
did.
had
It's fair.
just gotten it. You know, so he's oh man, yeah, that was intense.
That's tough. Um, And then yeah, we go back at this point to Jasper's place. We're grooving out. I was a little confused when he first walks in and we see the bottles on the ground. What was that about?
Wait, the bottle's on
With
the ground.
Jasper?
Well, was he trying to kill himself?
Yes. Well, actually, I don't know. It seemed like that was kind of the misdirect. Like maybe they were already dead and then they weren't. So I'm not sure what they were drinking.
Well, I think there was some kind of drug that was advertised on the TV. I thought that it was like you know that box is like a shoe box, and he does it at the end.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was some kind of I don't know. I guess it's kind of like I interpreted it as like a SSRI kind of medication or like a chill pill, like like
Okay,
that's what I
that would
thought
make
it
sense.
was. But I don't know if he was trying to kill himself or not. Wait, I had
I
another
think that
question. Okay, go ahead. Sorry,
yeah. No, you go.
I had another question, but it's on a different thing.
Okay.
Um, I
It's
don't
about how
really
babies are
understand,
made.
huh? Oh, the
Is it about
stork.
how? Yeah,
Wasn't there a funny line about the stork? Oh yeah,
yeah. There
Jasper
was.
told a
There
joke
was.
where he's like the guy was eating like a stork chicken wing. Oh, that was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
No, I liked it. He
That was a
sells it
good
really
line.
well. I
Yeah, that was
found
a great
myself
line.
thinking during that scene, I was like, just like a setup joke just doesn't exist. It hasn't really existed in probably 15, 20 years at this point. But there's really a lost art to being able to tell a joke like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. I was kind of hating on Michael Caine earlier.
Yeah, I don't either. He's great in this movie.
I don't know. I just really hated him in Jaws 4: The Revenge.
All right. What was your actual question?
Okay, so I didn't really understand what the guy from 12 Years a Slave was on about in the first place. Like what was he trying to do? It was some kind of personal gain. Like he was trying to
Hmm.
extort them for something. Like, but I never really quite figured out like what was his whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair question, and it's probably one of the areas that's less solidly explained in the movie itself. But I think sort of what's implied is that uh, he is Luke, the character, is like kind of second in command, or at least very high up amongst the fishes. Ultimately, it seems like the fishes initially became a thing to try to advocate, perhaps violently, for refugees' rights. And I think,
Okay.
like probably a lot of real world conflicts and political groups, there comes a point where it's like, okay, well, we started for this one thing, but now the government has actually just like killed a number of my friends and vice versa. And it almost begins to become more akin to a gang war or like just a regular political war, like a civil war. And
Mm.
so I think in his mind, as much as it's about the refugees, it's also about the movement of overcoming the government through an uprising. Um, and so he views that if they were to have the child, the only child in the world, it would be a very motivating gesture for them to have it, and that it would bolster their ranks. That would be my
Ah,
guess.
like it would help advance their stake
Their
in all
cause,
this. Yeah.
yes,
Ah, got it.
yes.
Wow, that's a great explanation.
Ultimately, I think it's a political tool for
Yeah.
him rather than
Okay.
a human.
Yeah, I knew he was
Um,
trying to benefit from it, but I couldn't quite nail down what was going on there.
yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
think Luke is definitely portraying like a valid point in some ways, but like what happens when a cause goes too far that's at least my interpretation of
Well,
it.
he killed the other, and why'd he kill the other girl? I guess that's the other thing. Why'd he kill the girl who was driving that everybody likes? What's her name again? Julianne Moore.
Oh, Julianne Moore. I
Yeah.
think that he just didn't align with her political views and felt like she was doing the movement a disservice by getting rid of this child.
I guess she was trying to take the child to the Human Project, right?
Correct.
And was he not?
Correct.
He was trying to say like I don't know. This is where I guess I'm unclear, but I think it was something to the extent of what you explained earlier.
Yeah, well, that's why when they have that dinner at the Fish's headquarters, and he's like, "Hey, I think it's safer if you stay here, and I
Right.
promise someday I'll take you to the Human Project."
Right.
That was really just a means for him to ensure that the baby stays there, certainly gets born there, and that ultimately will stay there. Um,
Oh, okay.
yes, rather than the Human Project, because if it goes to the Human Project, there's no ability for him to communicate with them, let alone use the baby as a political symbol.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense now.
And as you can tell on this podcast, you're getting a lot of research and refined analysis of the movie.
No,
We've
you
spent
can.
dozens of hours in the past months going over this.
We spent fresh, honest takes, and Nick has actually seen this movie twice. Like that's pretty good,
Two whole movies, or yeah, one movie two whole times.
and it's almost 2 hours. It's like 150. So Nick watching that 2 hour like two times. That's a lot of prep.
I know. Thank you. Um, yeah. Okay. So from there, then so we hang out with Jasper. We find out a little bit about Theo's backstory of his son passing away.
Oh right, yeah.
We see the fishes find them and they escape. Maybe a little bit of a nitpick here. Do you really think that house in the woods has two different roads
No,
back to get out of there? I have some questions on that.
I didn't. Yeah, I did not quite understand that either.
Um, so we have some questions there. We meet Sid, the cop. Well, we go to the
Yeah,
school very briefly, which I found as an effective, again, just, man, this place sure is dilapidated. And you're like, oh, I guess it fucking would be. There's no kids to be here.
right.
But we get a little bit of backstory about Miriam, the wet nurse, too, which I appreciated because at first I was like, what is this character here for? Um, but then
Oh,
it
right.
immediately made sense that she has like experience with childcare and birthing. Um,
Question for
and
you. Did
then,
you feel like it was a
yeah,
lot of like exposition like that, like explained like verbally, you know? Like if we were to knock one thing about it, I know we're talking about scene by scene, but just in general, like there was a lot of explaining stuff.
are you saying just in general, or are you
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
Miriam in the
But the
school?
one that you just gave is a good example of like then you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, like she was a nurse. Got it."
I think maybe that could be fair, but in my mind, I think just these people are so shocked that they're seeing a pregnant woman that it's just evoking all of their kind of forgotten memories about what children used to mean to them. Like they're all so past the point of children that it's not even like they're like, well, we're trying. Nobody in this movie is at any point saying we're trying to like research fertility. Like it seems like everyone's given up. And at that point, like they've given up on, even maybe not giving up. So I think just like the catalyst of seeing this pregnant woman is making, someone who professionally was a wet nurse be like, oh shit, I haven't done this in forever. Yeah, so to me, I felt like that was believable. That it's not just exposition, but like truly, these people are just talking about their last reference point when it comes to children.
Yeah, it's fair. I just found this pretty, in general, like pretty powerful. As we are talking about it, like I probably should have said that in initial thoughts. Like it definitely was like cut well and like great cinematography, whatever. But like it was also like a very powerful story. Maybe it was that like seeing people see children again. Like I know I'm skipping ahead, whatever. But like the ending is like it's very emotional. Very
Mm-hmm.
very emotional. But yeah, when you're just explaining that too about that, like her like passion for this mission because of what she had been through in her life, yeah, it is a little expository, but it's also like great. It's a great part of the story too, hearing her like
Mm-hmm.
talk about that. So yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, we get introduced to Officer Sid, who's an immigration officer who is just like, he's definitely up there for one of the more evil characters in film I think I've ever seen. Not even that he like has a long grasp, like he's affecting that many people, but just within his small kingdom, whatever that is, clearly this is an awful man. The way that he's bidding about everything and speaking in the third person, where it's really unclear, like, is he mentally unwell and that's why he speaks like that, or is he just so arrogant, or what, or is he just doing a joke to mess with them? It's the guy's just a psycho, but he plays it perfectly. I think it's one of the better
Was
performances in this great movie.
you think he was a bad guy? No, I'm serious.
It's hard
Like
to say. For
he
sure,
was friends with Michael Caine though. Like
he's absolutely a bad
what
guy.
happened when he pulls the gun? Like what is he trying to do when he pulls the gun? Like when he realized it's a baby, like I couldn't tell if he was like against them or not for the first couple like moments of that. Like he was like I was like, wait, is he trying to like take control of this and help? Because I thought, oh, he's friends with Michael Caine. I don't know.
No, I
You
think
see what I'm saying though?
yeah, well, I mean, I'd say even from the get go, right? Like he's a stranger to Clive, or to Theo, to Clive Owen's character, and the first thing he does is takes out his baton and threatens to beat him because
And
he
he scares
understands that
them. Yeah.
there's a power dynamic, and I'm at the top,
Yeah, true.
and this amuses me, and it makes you afraid, which amuses me even more. So, like, just from the get go, he's someone who abuses authority. Um,
Yeah, good point.
and then, when he sees that one of the passengers is it's a pregnant woman who's like going through contractions, he's like, "Are you gonna throw up? That's not good. Don't do that."
No, but
Like,
I don't think he knows she's pregnant until he sees the baby. Because
oh, he doesn't. But my
he
my
says he's
point
like,
is
oh,
that
I
he's
don't.
not
Yeah,
concerned about their well being.
yeah, because his whole thing is like, oh, I don't care what I'm doing. Like, I've been sent on this mission. I'm just doing the mission. Like he says
Yeah.
something like that, and then then when he comes back, like, why does he come back and go into
He
that room?
explains after he pulls out the gun and they're walking down the
Oh, he finds out
stairs.
everybody's after them.
Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah,
he
you're
wasn't
right.
planning to come back. He only came back because he saw it on the news, and he basically was trying to get paid. And maybe he's alluding to his mother is sick,
You're
and it
right.
would
You're
be
right.
nice to have some extra money. But ultimately, that's why the landlady, whatever her title is, the Romani woman,
Yeah.
um, says he's a bad man. Like she ultimately wouldn't have said anything other. And I think that actually, so her name, Marika. the Romani woman. I think she's
Yeah.
another great character in this movie who has a pretty
Yeah.
small part, but does a really effective job the first time you meet her. You just, I don't know, just from who she is and the place where she's at, she's someone that you feel like you could just kind of glimpse and almost not even see. She fits into the background, right? And that's probably a lot of, biases that we, and certainly I as a viewer, have. But then she takes them to their hiding place. They're just trying to shoo her out. And we kind of think, okay, we'll never see this character again in
Yeah.
my head, right? And so, and then later on, she brings the cop and she points out later on he's a bad guy, but she never takes the time to do that, right? Selfishly, she doesn't warn these people when she really could and should,
Yeah.
until she sees the baby and she recognizes this is something that should be saved. So there's already a grayness to her character as well. Like, she's selfish, but understandably so. And then she ultimately lets them go and she stays behind and maybe gets bombed, who knows. But just again, a small part that does so much with so little, I think is really well done.
There was one part there where they got split up from her, then all of a sudden she was like right there. I was like, wait, what? Like, she just like
Yeah.
pulled up out of nowhere, like she was walking through the street. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I think she is smart enough to take some cover for longer than Theo. But yeah, so then there is the birth scene. What did you think of the birth sequence?
Okay, this is what I wanted to ask you about. See, I've never been a big birth scene guy. Like, I
Okay.
actually didn't even watch the video when they showed it in high school, and they bring
Hmm.
you into an auditorium and they make you watch that. I looked away.
Yeah.
So in this movie, I think it's fair. Like, I knew they were gonna have a birth scene. It's obviously a core part of the movie. I did not watch it, so I wanted to ask you, how graphic was it? I
Wait,
was
did you
not.
not? What do you mean you didn't watch it? Did you like
I can't watch
skip
that.
it, or did you close your eyes? Did you leave the room?
I kind of like give it one of these.
Oh my God, John.
I don't. I'm not interested in
No, it's
seeing all
not
that.
bad. It's
Oh,
really not bad.
okay.
It's just very real. I mean, like, you're not even really seeing any blood or anything like
Oh, there's
that. It's
blood.
more so just
Oh,
no. It's more about, yeah, just like the experience of it. I mean, honestly, I can only imagine the real deal is probably 50 times worse because it takes hours, sometimes days, let alone, or instead of 2 minutes. I thought it
days.
was a well done scene though. There is I think a maybe like a little bit of an obvious metaphor that I was going to bring up within that scene though, which is we see Clive Owen pour his whiskey onto his hands to like desanitize them,
Right.
or sanitize them. And, I found that to be kind of an obvious metaphor of, okay, this guy, his nihilism towards the world at large has made him into an alcoholic.
Right.
Now, when he has a glimpse at hope for the first time in 20 years, he doesn't even hesitate to pour out that thing in order to complete the task of helping out this person. So,
Oh,
I
okay.
thought it was a little on the nose, but I think it still is effective ultimately
Sure.
at
Yeah,
scene.
I agree. I did not thought about that.
And then from there we meet up with, I believe they're like a Russian or Eastern European family before the big shootout. Did you have any thoughts on the fishes breaking in and that final shootout?
Um, yeah, that scene was pretty crazy, and I mean, I don't know. I was still trying to figure out what that guy's whole mission was. But I did think that scene was crazy. And when they were shooting, like when he was going for it, and then I realized, oh, he's in the corner, and then he kept putting the gun on them and back on the street, and then back on them. Like, it was just wild. Like, it just goes back to what I was talking about with the pacing. Every time there was a big action scene like that, like with the car being pushed with no battery on, or that first ambush, like, it was just like a great ride. And I just
Mm-hmm.
totally locked into that. But yeah, I thought that whole sequence was great.
Yeah, I think in particular, the shot that stood with me since I saw it the first time and it stood out again last time is really walking down the stairwell. And at first, it's like at the top level, you're seeing all of the just inhabitants of this horrid place. Then you go
Yeah.
down a couple rows and you see the revolutionary fishes. Then you go down further and it's a whole platoon of these soldiers. And they ultimately just kind of look like kids themselves a bit, like
Right.
they all look pretty young.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just found that very striking. And then, very pointedly, the fighting kicks up again very shortly after. Like, to me, it felt like a metaphor of like, okay, humans are capable of appreciating things, but generally speaking, they can only appreciate it so long before more base tendencies tend to fire up.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was intense. Yeah.
And then we see our characters row out to the Tomorrow ship. Um, any thoughts about the ending before we start talking about like favorite shots, favorite quotes, things like that?
Yeah. No, but I know my favorite shot, and I don't want to forget it. Can I tell you my favorite shot?
Yeah.
There's one when they were, I think it was when the girl who was about to have the baby was sitting on the swing set, and it was like through a little hole in the glass, and
Hmm.
then the nurse and the main guy were talking. That was crazy. I thought that was just a crazy shot.
Um, I guess this is more of a scene than a well, I guess it's one continuous shot, but it is walking down the staircase. I really just enjoy. Um,
Past all the army guys.
yes, I
Yeah.
just found that really impactful. Oh gosh, I really do love the when he says the quote of like, "I just don't think about it," and you see the shot of them looking over this like smoggy London. Um, And then I thought it was really effective the shot of when they're looking down the hill at Jasper when he's being interrogated and he gets shot. Like those shots are
Oh yeah,
fucking brutal. When he
dude.
gets killed,
It
it's
was so.
really effective though.
You know why I think it is because like the way he shoots him down, it's like he's punching him with bullets. Like it's like first he
Yeah.
shoots him in like the arm, and then he shoots him in the leg, and like the way he's like doing the motions, like of to like getting him down further and further until he's like just in a ball on the ground, and then he kills him. I was like, ooh, that was brutal. Like just little
Yeah.
details like that of him like beating him down by shooting him with a pistol was like, oh geez.
Yeah. And then favorite quotes. I've
There
got mine.
quotes. Go ahead.
Pull my finger.
Yeah. Wait,
It's
what was
just
the
great.
joke there? Was he?
Oh, he's farting.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he's just messing with our guy Theo. But probably the real one is the "I just don't think about it." I think that's a really great quote.
When was that one?
That's his cousin
Oh,
when
okay.
they're in the high
Oh,
rise.
yeah, yeah. When the high rise. I actually really like this movie, but I'm just balancing it a little bit. I had a least favorite quote. Like there's a couple lines that like kept it from
Ooh,
being
okay,
five. They kept it from being five for me. But
okay,
4.5, amazing. I really liked it, and I gave it a heart. So I want to keep reiterating that, so that
okay.
our British fans don't come for me. We do have a small British fan base. But when they were in that final battle, Clive Owen asked the girl. He says like, "Oh, how is she?" Talking about the baby, and she replies, she's like, "Annoyed." Like the baby's like annoyed that like all the gunfire is going off. I'm like, all right, like it's just like one of those like she's already strong. She's just a baby. It's like no, the baby's just crying because it's like loud gunfire all around, like he's trying to take a
Yeah.
nap.
Also, like, I don't know if this would be the time that I'd be like that sassy necessarily.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
actively a literal tank just fired into the building.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be like petty in this moment.
Also I was thinking about during all those scenes, I was like, man, how great would it be to be that locked into the moment, having like there's gunfire all around, like be that focused.
I can't wait till we start doing these where I'm still in LA and you're calling in from like Tunisia or wherever the army sends you when you enlist.
Yo, I heard no, I'll never do that. Yo, you heard Trump like is going to war with Chicago? Like, do I have to like
Oh, dude, yeah, I forgot how you doing over there.
do I have to like like take up arms?
They're gonna make you shave that head, or they're gonna think you're a fish.
Oh no,
You kind
yeah.
of look like a fish right now, dude.
Oh no.
Freedom fighter.
I'm definitely staying in my apartment.
um. Okay, nitpicks. Yeah, let's talk about some things that maybe we didn't love as much.
No, I think my only thing actually was that like I really liked it. Like there was not a lot of nitpicks. I think there was just some corniness with the dialogue. Like the one example I just gave. Like there's just little things. Like when I see a 5-star movie, there's nothing like that like literally takes me out of it at all. But like there's just a couple of things like some of the Michael Caine stuff, which was still funny, and I still like Michael Caine, and then some of the other pieces of dialogue, and maybe a little bit too much exposition. But overall, like wow, what a great movie that I can't believe I is not talked about more, and that I can't believe I hadn't seen yet. Even and I've seen other
Hmm.
stuff by this guy. It's like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to be fair, I feel like it got its laurels, but it's also been almost 20 years since it
Yeah.
came out. It's a pretty long time. A lot of stuff has come out since. I do feel like this movie has aged incredibly well for like the obvious reasons of, we live in Trump's America there, and it doesn't end with Trump, but like immigration is a massive talking point in this country. ICE raids have been going on for
Right.
months in a very heightened fashion, and so one thing I read, I could have mentioned this during the production, but I think a really interesting just production piece that I heard was basically the idea that as much as this movie is about infertility as a disaster, it's really more about like the parallel of if we weren't to have a next generation of children, we would be hopeless. And that is supposed to be paralleled with sort
Yep.
of capitalism and economic, downturn for a large population of Western Europe and the States, certainly.
Yep.
And so basically the hopelessness that comes from capitalism as well is basically the parallel. And I can't remember where I was going with that. Oh God, what was I going to say?
You know what I was thinking about is when she
What?
puts the baby over her shoulder and he's like, give her a little pat, pat. And what if the
Yeah.
baby just like slipped off her shoulder into the water and they just went to...
Yeah, and it just plays the Curb Your Enthusiasm music over it.
Or like the Super Mario, you know?
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, so I was just gonna say, like, it's very timely with all those pieces. And as much as we're, justifying immigration for whatever fear mongering reasons today, whatever your political beliefs are, I think that's supposed to be parallel with the hopelessness that's going on, that's
Now,
causing a fascist government in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, can we talk about the immigration thing too? Because I was trying to understand that part also. Like, because on a first time watch, I know we're joking about this, but like I keep coming back to it.
Mhm.
But like, it was a lot to take in. Like, and so why were there people in the cages? Like, and this was London, right? We're in London. They were just getting rid of anybody. Like, what was the end game here? I was just a little confused.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to understand from that radio conversation at the beginning that a lot of countries, including the US, have fallen. Like they were saying, like Seattle's had a 300-day siege or something going on. So I think
Okay.
most of the world has truly gone completely to shit
Okay.
because of this nihilism that people are feeling, like a total pointlessness and
Because they can't have
hopelessness.
kids.
Yes, there's no
Got it.
future, so why should any of us care?
Got
And
it.
so I think because of that, England has responded to it by having this extremely strict authoritarian government that's
Got
like,
it.
stay in line. And ultimately, children are a goal. Like there's a reason to make the world a better place because we have children. They're trying to manufacture something to drive towards, which I believe is essentially immigrants are a danger to our society. And so because they don't have children as a driving factor to make positive change, they manufacture one through fear mongering of immigrants.
So, and it would be bad if like a woman of that race or like that class, I can't remember what they were like trying to like say, oh, they would never accept a baby because she's, I can't remember what the term they kept using for her. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
think I don't know if they might have just said brown.
No, it was like a Fuji. I thought it was like a refugee. She was like, oh, she's a Fuji. Or...
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. And I think clearly in the movie, Fuji and, person of color are kind of interchangeable. Not 100%. There's like some German immigrants and stuff too.
I didn't know if it was like refugee or something, if that's
It
all
is.
it was. It was just like a slur for that. So
It
they were
is,
saying
for
like,
sure.
so cause based off like class or something, I just like, it's like, what was, I get, but you just explained it. Okay. So they're also like, their response to this like, downfall in like sentiment was like, get everybody out and like, like that was their big response for it. So to have the first child to come from somebody who they just tried to get rid of from their country wouldn't be a good look, like they're trying to prop up like different
there's
things.
that, but also the fishes do say like, yeah, like they're like, all right, if they find out, they're just going to replace you with some posh black woman, I think is what they say. So it's like they wouldn't even let the narrative be that like a refugee got pregnant. Potentially, that's what they're claiming. Crazy. But anyways, I think that's parallel. You're bringing up Chicago. So I think the metaphor that I'm kind of saying poorly is basically it's like even though in their scenario there's no hope because there is no children. I think the parallel in today's world is like for a large part of our population is dealing with a lot of economic scarcity and fear that also similarly generates nihilism. And so it always helps to have a fall guy or a scapegoat. Okay, some other nitpicks though. This is such a pivot from what I was just saying. What if the fishes didn't kill Jasper and he just killed his wife and dog for nothing? Just something to think about there.
Wait, did he give him the suicide? Like, did he killed them? Like, he gave him a suicide?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just let him go.
It'd be a tough beat.
What if he thought of it
as smart enough to know.
What if he's like, hey,
this is not walking out of this alive.
He's like, this is a win-win. He just kills him anyways, and he's like,
yeah, it seems like he was going through it anyway. But I didn't think Key Was a great actress, the pregnant woman. I didn't, and
No,
maybe
I
she
didn't think
wasn't
so
given the
either.
best lines to work with either, but she just felt very childlike and kind of strange.
Oh, I agree with that
Um,
nitpick. And I think when I was talking about the dialogue, that was like that. Yeah, another reason for the 4.5. Wait, what'd you give it? Like, I'm curious. Like,
well, we haven't gotten to that. It's the last thing that we do,
oh,
John.
come on, we haven't done it in
You've
so
gotten
long.
so rusty at this. There's a whole order of things.
Well, that's what happens when we take two months off.
Yeah, that's fair. The
Well, I
last thing
get
I'll
too
say,
excited. You know?
the ping pong ball CGI wasn't great,
No, it wasn't.
but it's been 20 years, so we can forgive them. But I
Yeah, I mean,
noticed it.
how many takes could that really take? You know, like, well, I guess it was a couple of times back and forth.
That would be really hard.
So what other choice do they have? You know, better CGI.
Probably none.
Yeah.
Probably none. All right, that's kind of all I had. Any hot takes, or are you good to do scores and wrap up?
No, it's like, is this what microplastics do?
What does that even mean? Oh, we're all gonna be infertile.
Yeah.
Our balls are just full of microplastics.
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, honestly, fucking maybe. It's very possible. I would say so. My score to your question, I would
Well, that
say
wasn't my.
I'd probably give it a 4.
Okay.
Um, because I think ultimately there was a lot that I really enjoyed about it, and more than anything, like I respected about it. But if I'm being totally honest, a big part of like watching movies to me is like that entertainment factor and like wanting to rewatch it, that kind of transportative feel,
Sure.
which I think especially on the first watch I really enjoyed, but like I think on the second, third rewatches it becomes more like thematic to me rather
Yep.
than the film itself. And so there's a lot that I really respect about it. I mean, it's certainly I think a better movie in my eyes than like a lot of movies that I've given a 4.5 or a 5. Like I think it's doing way more. It's much better,
Hmm.
headier topics. But ultimately, I think it just doesn't. It wouldn't always be my go-to. But I do think it's an incredible film.
Oh, that's
I'd recommend
interesting.
it to just about anybody.
Yeah, and I think because I typically just don't think about the thematic elements as much, and maybe that's why I give it a 4.5 because I just really enjoyed the ride, and I thought the cinematography was great, and I thought the pacing was great. And it came out in 2006, so anything that they like got right or that's relevant today, like I'd think of as more like lucky,
Hmm.
or like maybe they had the foresight, whatever. But either way, it doesn't really matter. So, but I can see on a second rewatch being like, oh yeah, like that's that. Okay, yeah, it can be.
Hmm.
That makes sense to me. So yeah, maybe if I watched it again, I'd lower it. But I did go with a 4.5. I did bump Jesse James out of my top 10. Jesse James, the greatest movie of all
Right.
time. Yeah. But I'm glad we got to talk about that one at the beginning.
Yeah, me too. I wanted to at least touch on it because we took the time to watch it.
Was anything I
This was
said
good.
compelling? Was anything I said about Jesse James compelling to like go back and run it again or no?
I don't think so. I don't think that one's for me.
Wow.
I just think it's not for me.
Do you like that like kind of dark? Like what I'm talking about, like the taxi drivers, like that kind. Those do you like those dark kind of movies?
I definitely can.
Or like Joker? Do you like Joker?
I didn't care for Joker.
Okay, yeah.
But I haven't seen Taxi Driver, and from what I've heard, that's just like a better version of that movie.
Yeah, it's like a not. It's the original. It's what Joker like what was basing it off of, but not in a bad way.
Yeah,
They just did it for the joke. Like in the Joker universe, they did Taxi Driver. Like that's pretty cool.
yeah. I didn't even hate Joker. I just, yeah, it wasn't for me. I'm also just, I'm. You're not supposed to say this, but I'm just not a big Joaquin Phoenix guy.
Okay. Is he a popular guy? I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yes.
I think he's won an Oscar
Yeah, he won. I think he
I'm
won
pretty
an
sure.
Oscar too. Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a good one. We don't know what we're gonna do next. I think John, maybe we should do like a new movie next, like one that's like we should plan to do one for a movie we're both excited to see.
Yeah.
Go contemporary.
I haven't even been to the theater to see a 2025 release this year. I've only seen two 2025 movies. It's the Jaws documentary and that
Mhm.
Predator Hulu movie.
Okay. The animated one?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was a little overhyped, but I liked it.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you as always, John. This is a good app. Any final thoughts? Or we good?
No, I think we're good. I
All
had a
right.
good time.
We'll be back, everybody. Thank you as always. Out.